Welcome to Biology 1620. In today's talk, we're going to talk about the origin of life. I'd like to start off first by giving you this view of what life is like as we look from distant remote parts of space within our solar system. In 1977, NASA launched an explorer called Voyager 1. In 1990, a mere 13 years later, as it was leaving our solar system, Carl Sagan, the famous scientist from Cornell University, convinced NASA to turn the cameras around for just one last picture of what Earth looked like before Voyager left our solar system. And what you see here is a pale blue dot. It's a picture of Earth taken from 6 billion kilometers away. Voyager 1 has now traveled for an additional 3 decades, far outside of our solar system. And that pale blue dot is no longer visible. However, we can go and look at a more recent photo. This is an image of Earth and of the Moon that was acquired in 2007 by the HiRISE camera that's on Mars's reconnaissance orbiter. And what you see is the pale blue planet that we live on and with the Moon, shot at a distance of several million miles away. The question we want to ask today is, how did life originate on Earth? There are 5 key points that we're going to look at today. I won't spend time on these right now. They're part of your handout, and you'll see that we'll cover each of them during the course of this lecture. For part 1, we need to start off by defining what is life, and what was Earth like when life began. We don't have a record other than the history of life available through the study of rocks and through the use of isotopes, which contain information about what was happening at the time those rocks were formed. So to begin with, what do we consider to be life? Well, we have a strict definition that we're using, and that is that life has 6 common characteristics. First, life is made of cells. That is, it has a membrane-bound lipid bilayer. Second, is that life produces proteins that conduct reactions. We call them enzymes. Third, life acquires and uses energy. We term that metabolism. Fourth, life stores information that can be transmitted to future generations. It has the ability to replicate, and that is to persist into the future. And lastly, life evolves. It's capable of generational change. These 6 common characteristics uniformly define everything that we consider to be life today. So I want to first start off and ask, what is your understanding of the conditions when life began? We know that there was a consolidation of gases and dust about 4.6 billion years ago, or 4,600 million years ago. We know that water and nitrogen arrived on Earth via meteorites. It wasn't here to begin with. And we know that by about 4 billion years ago, or 4,000 million years ago, life could begin because the Earth had cooled enough to have a crust. So let's start off with the clicker question. What were the gases in the early atmosphere? Ask you to spell out the names. Obviously, since this is recording, you will benefit from the answers that are given in class.